Hello and welcome to Dario's Comic School, and today we will take a look at the book The Art of Comic Book Inking by Gary Martin and Steve Root. I did pull out this book a few times when I was talking about inking and inking traditionally and why I think it's so important. As you can see, I have a brush pen, I have a normal pen. I write things down. Right now it's a bit messy because I'm working. This was a piece I drew with a blue pencil or with a lead pencil. I had something like this on a Bristol board with blue lead, and then I inked over it, and once I had it inked, I scanned it with my A4 printer. And then I put down the basic colors underneath it in Photoshop, and that's it. It looks pretty simple and basic, and for the time 2016 this was okay. As you can see, I use pens and they're okay, and I use things. And why I think that inking traditionally is so important today, I think a lot of people will ink or pencil their stuff on their laptops. I have two. I love them. I love my smartphone. I love the stuff we have, and YouTube. It's great that we have it. But there is a thing to to have your paper in front of you, to put out ink and to work. It is a craft. It is a craft that demands all of your attention, because if you fuck up, like if I spill something over here, then I can't do it again. I cannot just erase it. I mean, I can later erase it in Photoshop, and that's okay, and sometimes I will do that, but it forces you to work very precisely, and so your work becomes a meditation and a craft, and I think that is very important. Also, in a month, I have in my local town, I will display some original artworks, a gallery, and I have original artwork. I have this in A3, I have pieces of my comics in A2, I have smaller pieces on A4, and I'm able to display these things, and I'm also able to display pictures I painted. This is not yet ready and stuff. You know, I don't have to do prints. I can do prints, and prints are fine, but it's also something very magical about putting down a line with your pen. And I don't want to over romanticize it, but it is really good. Like, you're living in a physical world, and we're already very separated and digital. So there is something magical on working on paper. And before we go into this book, I'm sorry for this long introduction, I wanted to show you, like, this is about inking. When we talk about inking, we have somebody, like here, for example, John Romita Jr., who laid down the pencils, like probably with a gray lead, then he scanned them, sent them over, somebody turned them into blue printing lines, printed out the A3 and inked over it, probably here Klaus Janssen. Or maybe they did it very traditionally, like John Romita Jr. sent over the pencils on Bristol board, which are a bit bigger than the print size or the final print, and then Klaus Janssen just went over it with some pens and inks and brushes and made this. And he gave the line weight. As you can see right over here, the line is very thin, and on the bottom it's thicker, and the outlines are thicker. Klaus Janssen does some really thick lines, and here the rib cage, really thick lines, here with really thin lines on the arm. And as you can see, different line weights give the figure a three-dimensional how do you say, look or feel. It just does. Like, if these lines had all the same weight, it would just look flat. Yeah, I don't want to show it to you right now, but I could like, yeah, let's jump into the book. And another thing, before we get into the inking and this book, like, it is important to know the figure. So maybe we will talk soon about figure drawing and a book and different resources like this, because this you need to know kind of first before you dive into inking, but you don't need to, because like if somebody gives you something like this, you could ink over this. But if you're penciling and inking, you should definitely know your anatomy, and we will go into this. The next skill you can also learn from your comics, where the muscle are. Use the resources you have. You don't need a million books, please. And if you want to draw like this, know that you can. Like, you can learn to draw. Even if you're drawing just stick figures right now, if you want to draw like this, it is a learnable skill. It's not just magic. It's just a craft. You will hone it, and I'm sure you will be able to draft. It's nothing ethereal, like Jim Lee said. If you didn't do it until that age, that's bullshit. That's bullshit just. Like, as you can see, Betty Edwards has like, this dude draws this, and then he draws this, and he just takes a few months or a month. Like, or you start here, and then a few months later, this is painted. This is not a photography. This is painted. Like, not even I right now can do something like this. So it's a learnable skill. Realize that. Get it into your head. And then there's different resources, like a book like this, which is a really thick book. It was a Kickstarter book. In my eyes, I appreciate this book and I really love it. But the smaller the books, the faster you can learn. It's not about always being fast, but sometimes there's just too much information and you just give up. Stuff needs to be simple, not like this video. Let's get into the book. I will leave a timestamp, but I think the beginning rant was kind of important. So, the art of comic book inking. Now you know why I think it's very important. And then we will take a look at different inkers. I don't know all of them. I know like the most, how do you say, the very famous ones. Like, look, this is penciled, and it looks pretty good. And this is then inked. It looks different, but as you can see, like, it has different weight. Like, pencil, pretty much everything has the same weight. But then, as we go into the inking, like, look at the eye, everything, because it's a pencil, it has just one thickness. But then, as we go in here, with a Sharpie or with a brush or whatever you're using, you're laying down the shadows, and it looks three-dimensional. Like, light is coming from above, so down below it's a thicker line, which makes your drawing three-dimensional. You see the chin line here, the drawing looks good, but the drawing looks flat. It is flat, but here, boom, three-dimensional. And this is why you should learn to ink, and why this book is so good. It will keep you, or it will tell you, it will give you a good introduction to all the inking, everything you need to know. And it will show you different techniques. Like here, as you can see, this is outlined pretty lined, and here a bit more comic style, a bit different lines, and you will ink a different way than somebody else. Here you will see what you can do with the inking. And imagine this, like, you draw it and then you ink it, and then everything you need to know is just like, you could leave it black and white. You make black and white comics, boom, there you have it, your Sin City. Or you put in some coloring or some other colors for you. I used a very simple coloring technique, but I moved already on to a bit better technique. I will put in usually 2 colors or 3 colors now on the paper to make it more three-dimensional. But if you have solid and great inkings, like, you're already there. Look, pencil, inked, finish inked, or even different inking. And this book, well, it's not a review, but it's kind of, I will just show you around. It will tell you how you go from pencils to finished inks. And it will give you, like, there's also a Klaus Janssen book on inking and different renderings and cartoon inking and texture. But this is not what I want to show you. Like, it will also give you like comparisons. Like, when I first got it, I didn't all get it because I was too new. It was too complicated for myself to take this all in, and it was also kind of boring because I was not yet at the stage that I could understand what's going on here. Like, I saw the pencils and I thought to myself, yeah, okay, pencils, they look fine, nothing amazing going on there. And then pencils or inks by Brian Bolland, which I didn't know who was, but now I know. Then inks by Rudy Nebres, which in my eyes are, look how it's completely different, like the style of it. Like, look, Brian Bolland, and then here, completely different. So everybody interprets, I don't know how to say interpretation, the inks differently, you see. And then there's even here Kevin Nolan, which is really very cool, but also very different. And then Jerry Ordway, totally different, and Steve Root and Mark Schultz. And this was a bit too advanced for me, but it will go and it will show you a lot of stuff. And maybe this is for more advanced guys, but I wanted to put it out there that it is a very important topic to ink. I wanted to put out there that it is very good to ink probably with real pens, and that there are different styles. And then I wanted to show you this book because it's really amazing. It shows you like pencils from, this is Jill Kane, then there was a Kirby, then here's this John Buscema piece, and then like it will show you a lot of pages. It will show you older stuff, newer stuff, as you can see, and different styles and different eras of penciling and inking. And then at the back of it, at the end, like, you will have this fold out things which are Bristol board size. I wouldn't recommend inking on these, but you can scan these pages and try your own inking over these pencils. And each one that was talked in the book, and you have references to it, you will have the chance to ink your own stuff. So there will be, wait a second, I'm fighting the book a bit. So you will have your Jack Kirby, you will have your John Buscema, and that is very important. I will end the video here. Sorry for the long introduction and rant, but yeah, this is a very good book, and maybe you should get it. I don't know, it was like $20 from Amazon in or 30 maybe in the year 2016, and I think it's a very important book. Yeah, see ya.